John, 7 years ago tonight, we had a national tragedy really on the level of 9/11. I think a lot of people don't appreciate that, and your historic work on this event has revealed that even some of the same players from 9/11 very likely were involved. How are you tonight, John?
Well, it's a solemn time, serious topic, of course.
John, 7 years ago tonight.
I did it again.
Whoops, that's all right. Yeah, we're just getting some internet issues ironed out there.
All right, killed it. So yeah, it's a solemn occasion. It's the 7th anniversary of the Las Vegas shooting. It's October 1st, 2024, 7 years later. It is 6 years from the killing of Jamal Khashoggi. So he was killed 1 year to the day, to the minute from the Las Vegas shooting. And in this show, we're going to take a look at some evidence that may be adequate to indict Governor Joe Lombardo. And it almost feels like we're in a new climate now that the mayor of New York City has been indicted.
Yeah.
It feels like, I don't know, it feels like maybe the tides are turning a little bit. And if the mayor in New York City can get indicted, maybe the governor of Nevada, Joe Lombardo. So Joe Lombardo used to be the sheriff, and then he ran for governor and he won. And he ran against Sisolak. So this was, you were kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And, Sisolak is the one who raised $13 million on GoFundMe that nobody seems to be able to account for.
Oh, yeah. He just kept that?
Well, no, I'm sure he distributed some of it, but, nobody seems to know a whole lot about it.
Ooh.
And having...
You probably knew this, but I didn't. Joe Lombardo, born in Japan to a military family.
I didn't know that he was born in Japan.
See, that's interesting because there was a military base in Japan that had a radar installation that was used by the U-2 planes, and Lee Harvey Oswald was stationed there. See, every time, John, even though this is 7 years ago, and there are still people out there who are like, oh, nobody has solved it, we'll address that. But every single time we do a show about this, I learned something from you or the information that we bring up. It's kind of amazing.
I didn't know he was born in Japan. I had no idea. It's interesting stuff. We're going to take a closer look at this evidence that I think indicates that Joe Lombardo and Kevin McMahill, who's the current sheriff, he was sort of the assistant to sheriff at the time, I believe these guys forged evidence based on the evidence we're going to look at tonight. So it's, in other words, it's not a belief that I have. It's when it's like you see a lady on a horse. Do you believe she's on a horse? You see a lady on a horse. It's like, lady's on a horse. I don't believe she's on a horse. It's like I see a lady on a horse. Same thing here. It's like you're going to see evidence. It's like, kind of looks like the LVMPD is forging evidence here, and that's a crime. And if that's the case, how did they get the indictment for the mayor in New York City? Did they get a grand jury? Did they have to do a grand jury?
They did. That's a complicated story that I'm going to be going into. But before we go to that, we should also point out that this is the incident that brought you and I together in this collaboration that's been going on for 7 years. I think most people would agree. You and I have done some incredible work together. And the thing is, see, like on the Butler, PA assassination attempt, one of your first findings was gunfire coming from the trees. And you've told people many times how you were almost embarrassed to say that because it seemed so ridiculous. Now you're talking about the forging of evidence. And I remember when we were looking at the FIT report, and the evidence did look crazy, but it was such a disconnect, such a cognitive dissonance to presume that the police would forge evidence. Now flash forward 7 years later, I'm in a right to know lawsuit with the Beaver County ESU for the exact same charge. It's possible that this is happening all the time, and we're just realizing it.
I really feel like the Las Vegas shooting was such a watershed event because of the sheer volume of eyewitness footage that we were able to get our hands on. And it was really also, I think, the first criminal event of its type, mass murder type thing, where the pressure for the police department to release the body cam footage. In other words, I don't remember seeing a whole bunch of body cam footage from school shootings and stuff like that prior to this, right? This is really the first time, and I think it was a judge ordered that they had to release it. And prior to the release of all that body cam stuff, I was trying to figure out how to synchronize stuff without any reference. We didn't have anything to use as a reference before they started releasing it. Then when they released it, we started syncing up the footage and all that kind of
the
stuff.
mega sync, the precursor to gigasync. See, it's a real evolution. And you're right. Everything you're saying, this is an important event that I think people still don't fully understand. And you know what, John? It's amazing. A lot of people think, oh, Vegas, it's over. It's a cold case. It's done. But to this day, we even see new social engineers cropping up to try to diminish the work that you've done, to try to take it from you and change the conclusion, to amplify false information around it. It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, you taught everybody about the catch and kill technique, and we're seeing it again. We're seeing that certain catch and kill characters that appeared to have been working for the GEC couldn't cut it, couldn't generate enough credibility. And so it looks like maybe they brought in a new horse, and so we'll see how this new horse fares. But again, it's not going away. I think that's what Matt Couch used to say, is Vegas isn't going away, Vegas isn't going away, and he kept raising money, and
then he went away.
Yeah, he didn't do a damn thing. So, but here's the thing, there is no statute of limitations on murder, right? So whether it takes 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. And what's interesting is that now I'm starting to hear from families of victims now, 7 years later. Right? So the pain doesn't go away, but people's ability to cope with it, gets better and better over time. And some people now are considering taking action. Right, so people
legal action, you mean civil action, right. Wrongful death suits, right. Absolutely.
Right. And it's very similar. And if you remember back to when Barack Obama vetoed the Saudi 9/11 lawsuit stuff, and everybody's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Why would you not allow the victims of September 11th to sue the Saudis? It's like, well, because then everybody would be suing us. It's like, but we're not doing terror in other places, are we? What do you mean? Why would we, who would sue us? The Yemenis, the Yemenis, or who the guys in Sudan, who Mozambique, who's going to sue us, right? But nobody could understand this. Well, I think the issue there was people after September 11th wanted to sue the Saudi government. And therein lies the error, because suing like a sovereign government, it seems like
it was an official government act. It's elements, right. Corrupt elements within the structure of the royal family. That's interesting.
Exactly. So to lay claim that you're going to go after the government of Saudi Arabia, to me that was kind of a non-starter right from the get-go. The key is to identify who the characters are. We know from the 28 pages that Langley doesn't trust people to know the names, right? The 28pages.org, I can show everybody that real quick. The 28pages.org, there's so much redaction in there. Now, people who know about stuff like the Phoenix memo and stuff like that, you can piece it together. It's like if you know who the players are and you know about Ramzi Youssef and you know what was happening in 93 and you know about the Bajinka plot, you know about all this other stuff, you can kind of piece together what's going on in 28pages.org and kind of figure out who's there. But it's highly redacted. Can you show everybody? Can you go to 28pages.org?
That is it right there, but it's hard to get to the. Let me get the PDF here if I can.
I want people to see like how crazy redacted it is.
Why do they just have the actual report?
That's just it.
Here
It's
we
just
go. Here it is.
yeah. There you go. That's it.
They really have a lot of. It's like, just give me the thing in one click, can't you?
Oh, it used to be you just went there and it was just
Yeah,
boom
it's
at
not
the
like
doc.
that
Now,
anymore. Here we go.
okay, there you. All right, so that's the cover page. That's the only page that's not redacted. Right, that's the cover page, and then it's just like redactomatic.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
letter from them saying, like,
yeah,
here's
yeah,
the report. Here's the part that's redacted. It's like
right,
everything in
right,
it.
right. Here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. So as soon as it gets anything meaningful and who the names are, it's redacted. But there's enough here that's not redacted that it's pretty clear what's going on, and it appears that these are some big names in the Saudi royal family who have ties towards Wahhabism. And the fact that we've got air bases in Saudi Arabia is just.
I think it goes even beyond that, John, because, when people begin to understand the arrangement that created the petrodollar, it's not just about military bases. It's the, and this is interesting too, because after Joe Biden's presidency, the petrodollar has basically been destroyed. Russia has said, look, we're not dealing with this anymore. We're going to have
And
this
China,
commodity
BRICS.
and China, right?
They're
BRICS.
doing BRICS,
So
yeah.
this special Saudi relationship has been, among other things, destroyed by Joe Biden's presidency. It's going to be interesting to see the chaos that this sows moving forward.
It's such a dramatic difference from the bond that I think you guys saw between MBS and Jared Kushner and Ivanka. Somehow Jared, Ivanka, and MBS became buds, and these guys were hanging out, and they liked each other. And next thing you know, we had the Abraham Accords, and I think many of us were making fun of Jared Kushner in the lead up to the 2016 election, because everywhere Trump went during the campaign, whenever anybody asked him a tough question, like, well, what are you going to do about the Middle East? He said, well, Jared's going to handle that. And whenever they asked him another tough question, it was like, well, Jared's going to do that. And Jared steps up. And next thing you know, we get these Abraham Accords, and we're moving the embassy to Jerusalem, and everything's as good as it's ever been over there.
Better than today.
And then, right? I mean, do you remember when Trump went over there? Do you remember the reception with the horses and the prancing and the flags? And I mean, you've never seen a reception like that. And when Joe Biden goes, he meets him at the porte cochere of a hotel, and they do a fist bump. I mean, the
You know what you just reminded me of, John? This is important, actually. So when Trump went there, he met with King, what is his name here? Faisal?
Bin Salman.
Right. He met with King bin Salman, and this is a Palantir GUI component. This is some anti-terror center they're in, and this is something that's used to interface with Palantir. And J.D. Vance is very involved, I think, in investing in or something to do with Palantir, right?
I don't know I didn't know this. So I didn't know you mean the globe itself is connected to Palantir Capital?
Yes, Trump, Saudi, Palantir. What was that glowing orb? So it says, a mysterious glowing orb is exerting uncanny power over the world's social media. President Trump, King Salman of Saudi Arabia, and President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt entered a darkened room filled with row after row of computers in Riyadh, the Saudi capital, on Sunday evening. They placed their hands atop a radiant whitish sphere, which illuminated their faces like a campfire and kept them there for nearly 2 minutes. The First Lady Melania Trump, who also briefly touched the object, looked on. I don't know why they're not telling us what it is, but yeah, it's something to do with Palantir. Segmented pedestal, illuminated the floor, Bill Crystal, Macbeth. It's a Palantir orb, because searching for Palantir got us here.
Okay.
There's nothing in the article talking about it. It's very strange. I'll look into that, but keep going with what you were telling us.
It was his first visit. So Trump's first visit was to Saudi Arabia. And that's before the shooting. So his first visit to Saudi Arabia is in 2017. He goes over there with all the unredacted stuff, sits down with King Salman, says, all right, who's this guy? who's this guy? And these are the names of the people who were in the 28 pages that's all redacted. And this is basically the CIA's report saying, here's who was really behind it. And it's kind of Saudi royal family-ish. And so we're going to redact it out of courtesy to the diplomatic yada, yada, yada. And so they redact it. And so they're protecting basically the Saudi royals. Well, fast forward 16 years. And now the sons of those bastards are grown up. And now you've got Maiteb bin Abdullah, the son of King Abdullah, is in charge of the Saudi Arabian National Guard. And at the time in 2017, there were 200,000 members of the Sang. That's half the size of the U.S. Army. And that's his private army. That's not the Saudi Arabian Air Force. That's not the Saudi Arabian military. The Sang is for the royals. It's their private army. And within the Sang, there are people who are loyal to the old guard, the old guys, the grandfather guys, the guys who are in their 70s, who have been Sauds and, running it. Basically, if you're a Saud, you were given a city and you were like the mayor governor of the city. So like King Salman was like the governor of Riyadh or something. So he was like the governor of Riyadh for 30 years or something. So different key guys here are kind of in charge of different cities, like the governor of Mecca, the governor of, these different places. And they all want to be king, because if you're the king of Saudi Arabia, you're basically considered the wealthiest person on earth. And at one point, Mukrin bin Abdulaziz was crown prince, and he's pushed aside. And then Mohammed bin Nayef is crown prince, and he's pushed aside. And these guys are like, but, I just put the order in for the Bugatti Chiron. I was going to be,
Orange.
What do you mean? You told me I was crown prince and now I'm not crown prince? Wait. Well, this happens to Mukrin bin Abdulaziz and Mohammed bin Nayef. Maiteb bin Abdullah has his loyalties, and Al-Walid bin Talal is the richest guy in the kingdom. He's the one who funded Kingdom Tower in Riyadh. Kingdom Tower in Riyadh is spectacular, right? Magnificent. That's him. And he's the single largest shareholder in Citigroup, single largest shareholder in Twitter before Elon bought it.
Hates Trump.
Hates Trump, was tweeting against Trump, bought Trump's yacht, the Trump Princess,
which was previously owned by Adnan Khashoggi, Jamal Khashoggi's uncle.
Exactly. Weird. So Adnan Khashoggi's yacht was acquired by Trump. Trump sells it to Al-Walid bin Talal. So these guys know each other. And Al-Walid was all up in Trump's face during the 2016 election.
Old beefs. Oh, right? You can't get it in 3D. Look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So we've got some things that we can share. Do we have a couple minutes with this audience before we go to the Patreon portion?
Yeah, people should know, if they're watching us for the first time, they can support this research and John or I independently by joining us for the sponsor exclusive segment. You're going to be able to watch that right after this on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, or odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, or any of these other Crowdsource the Truth sponsorship channels.
Groovy. All right. Why don't we hold off on the Tucker Jason Aldean thing? So Tucker Carlson and Jason Aldean had a chance to get together a couple weeks ago, and Tucker asked Jason about the Vegas shooting. And Jason Aldean talks about his tour bus getting hit, the bass player's guitar getting hit. We'll listen to that when we get over to the patron-only portion of the show. in the folder that I sent you, there's a couple things I want to review, and I kind of want to share with our YouTube audience some evidence that they just may not be aware of at all, right? So just kind of like some shocking stuff that you're like, what? I didn't know that. Like, how's that even possible that nobody knows that? Nobody talked about that? Like, how is that even the case? So why don't we open up a video in here? BBB, Katie, Laura, and Joanne for Twitter. BBB, Katie, Laura, and Joanne for Twitter. And let's take a look at this. This has got our friend Laura Loomer. It's got Alex Jones. And this was originally broadcast June 1st, 2018, 6 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Joining us a little bit in the next hour, then Lionel joins us, a top legal analyst, is Laura Loomer, really an amazing, intrepid investigative journalist. She also gets in there and asks the hard questions. And she has been off and on spending a lot of time.
We're going to get dinged, dude. We can't play Alex Jones on YouTube. Are you crazy? We can't do that.
He's just introducing Laura.
No. That's going to get taken off of YouTube. That's
right,
we can't do that.
Take that down. All right, so then let's go.
That might be too late.
No.
This is why it's important for people to join us on the sponsor exclusive segment. I can't keep Max Urich off the screen, and then now we got this.
Right.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we are going to, all right, then if we have to make this PG, then we got to hang on. All right, so then let's go to, there's a file in the folder. It's a PNG image. 32-135, glass on the floor at the window, and empty shell casings. And let's take a look at this, because this is kind of a pivotal piece of evidence that appears to be forged. So in that folder, there's a file that says 32-135, glass on floor at window, and empty shell casings.
So you were saying Odyssey was not playing. I must have screwed something up. I think I should have just fixed it there. It's so complicated to get this stuff to work, John.
I don't know how
Why
you
is
do
Odyssey
it.
not playing? Oh, gosh. They're right. Activate.
All right, you fix it.
No, it is. It said click here to activate the stream. I hope I didn't just screw it up. I got to be careful taking instructions from the thing. Please tell me what you just said again.
Okay. All right, let's go to we have another room with a broken window. Let's hit them right between the eyes. We have another room with a broken window. Let's go with that.
Okay, there you go.
All right.
Check right here. We are facing north. Just confirming that is you guys. That's in the broken window that faces the left floor. We are facing the left floor. We do not have a broken window. Okay, copy. It looks like you might have another room that has a broken window that also faces the left floor off that north end. There's a little bit of movement unknown if it's going to be the curtains or not. I'm going to be working to get a better eye on it. Check right here. We are facing north. Just confirming that is you guys. That's in the broken window that faces the left floor. We are facing the left floor. We do not have a broken window. Okay, copy. It looks like you might have another room that has a broken window that also faces the left floor off that north end. There's a little bit of movement unknown if it's going to be the curtains or not. I'm going to be working to get a better eye on it. Okay, stand by. We've got curtains open on a window that's not broken. We're looking for broken. Okay, it is us. We have the broken window. That's us, Jair. Corey, Todd. Go ahead, Todd. If you can raise a CT, ask them to contact the hotel if they can turn on one of these elevators and get there quicker. Copy that.
Is it? Okay.
Should I Mueller, Kevin?
They have security down at the
Go
elevator
ahead.
base as well.
I'm just waiting for you on the 14th.
So, John, this piece of evidence right there, we like to talk about prima facie evidence. If the window's not broken and the guy's dead, how is he shooting out of the room?
Well, and we hear on official body cam, right? So this is body cam. This isn't user stuff. So this is body cam footage. And on the body cam, the guy says, it looks like we have another room with a broken window and we see movement in there.
Whoa.
And the guy's like, yeah, but that's not us. It's like, dude,
Who is that?
giddy up. So now let's show these guys what happened at 9:47 p.m. before anybody even knew what was going on. It was on. And the video we're going to take a look at in the folder is called Window Shot Out. And this is the 9:47 p.m. event that also created a social engineering little mini tornado around a guy named Roger Keenis, who is a quote-unquote former Marine intelligence, and currently is a dipshit. So Roger claims that this is Stephen Paddock's room 32135. It's obviously not. I lined this stuff all up. I did, all the monkey business. And what you're going to see here above the letter E in the word harvest, you're going to see the sign on top that says Route 91 Harvest. Above the letter E in harvest, you're going to see something. And this is at 9:47 p.m. It appears to be some sort of like an incendiary event. You guys take a look. Tell me what you think.
I missed it.
All right, that's okay. Right above the letter E.
When is it?
I can't hear the audio. I need to hear the audio. That's before we see the chopper, so you gotta go back. Right before the helicopter appears. Now that is
what we did not do on this one is what we've been doing with Butler, is to go and seek out the original video from it's a little bit late. People probably don't have their phones anymore and stuff, but get the original video from the original uploader and handle it like a visual effects file and just really, there it was.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
There it is.
That's it. So that appears to be gunfire upstairs above the Paddock suite. Now, whether now, because we hear a guy on SWAT radio saying, hey guys, we've got another room with a broken window. Again, I found that audio
after you saw this.
Long after we said, it looks like the window on the 38th floor got shot out here.
Yeah, I think that's glass and stuff flying out as the window gets shot.
I think it's either a shotgun shooting the window.
Yes, and a lot of material coming out.
Yeah. It's like you take a 12-gauge shotgun and you blow out the window.
Smoke and pieces of things. Yeah.
I think you can blow out the window. So that's kind of what I thought it was. And then about a year later, I stumbled into the audio saying, guys, you got another room with a broken window. That's that room. That's it. You just saw where the window was broken. Well, it turns out these guys have the ability to change out these windows in minutes. It's amazing. It's like I've got that on film. We'll take a look at that later. But let's go to one more video clip here before we have to go to the patron-only portion of the show. And let's look at a video that says, where are the helicopters? So let's take a look at that. This is, by the way, Before
we do that, I want to show people one thing, because anybody who's like, what are you guys talking about? It took you a second to find that. People might not recall, but there's no doubt that there were two windows, right? Oh, but that's his room. There's another window over here. There's three windows that were really broken. Right? Well,
so the issue here is they don't want you to know there's a window broke. Go back to the photo you just had.
Yeah.
Of the exterior. They don't want you to know there's a window broken at the Four Seasons, okay? Because that introduces Bill Gates, Alwaleed bin Talal, and MBS. Right. They don't want to talk about it, so you don't hear about it. They fix the window at the Four Seasons, and what we're going to show the patrons is at 12 o'clock at night, 12:23 a.m., LVMPD, they break that window.
The front window.
The one on the right. The one on the left is the one in the little room, 32134. And in that room, they tell us they found 8 brass spent casings. Okay? 8 spent brass empty casings. And that those shots were taken at the jet fuel tanks. 2 of those shots hit the tanks, according to the FIT report, and 6 of them missed. So they've accounted.
Tell us which window. This one here. Now, see, look at that. Look at the differences in the breakage here, John. See how this one's kind of broken downward towards the bottom, and this one's like hammered out. That's different, right?
Yeah. Well, so the one on the left was legitimately broken at 10:05. Glass is falling. One of the videos on my channel, that we actually have video footage of the piece of glass tumbling in the air and falling down. All right. So that's legitimately broken, and shots are legitimately taken from that one on the left. We see them and we hear them in many video clips. We're watching gunfire come from that window, but we never see gunfire come from the other window, ever. And what we do see is at 12:23 a.m. after midnight, that window blows. And it looks a hell of a lot like the one we just saw blow at 9:47. And what we're going to listen to is Joe Lombardo go to the microphone at 1:30 in the morning, Las Vegas time, and tell everybody that any explosions that they heard, that was LVMPD blowing the doors and stuff like that. Everybody calm down. Okay.
That was a figment of your imagination. Pay no attention.
If you heard any
to the
explosions, it's police. Okay, we're police guys doing police stuff. Just shut up and go back to bed. Okay.
That's crazy.
All right, so we're going to listen to the press conference. I've got the 1:30 a.m., the 3 a.m., the 5 a.m. We've got the press conferences. So we're going to go through that. We're going to listen to what he has to say. We're going to listen to what Aaron Rouse from the FBI had to say. We know the FBI tarred over the holes in the tarmac over at the venue, and the whole place has been repaved and resurfaced and sold. But the issue here is that this window on the right was broken by the LVMPD, and we have video evidence of it. It takes place at 12:23 a.m. And in that folder is an image that says 32135 glass on floor at window and empty shell casings. It's just a picture. It's a PNG. 32135 glass on floor at window and empty shell casings. So this is from the FIT report. And what they're telling you is, yeah, check this out, right? We go in the room and look what's going on here by the window, right? We got glass, we got spent shell casings, we got a hammer, a little 3-pound sledge like you might use to put your tent in the ground. But the problem is the window wasn't broken. Let's run this video. Was the window broken? And then we'll go over to the patron-only portion of the show. Was the window broken? So now when Brosnahan goes to the window, he should be walking on broken glass. He should be stepping on these shells as he goes to the window, right? He's walking on broken glass and spent shell casings and kicking the hammer right now, right? He just kicked the hammer?
Looks like the floor is pretty clean.
Go ahead, Todd.
Don't you think if he was walking, these guys are looking for the broken window. Wouldn't you go to where there's a whole bunch of glass on the floor? Show everybody the picture we just looked at a minute ago with all the glass on the floor. They're looking around the suite for the broken window. And this is a mystery? How is this a mystery, guys? Where's the broken window? And he pulls the curtain back and he goes, no, it's not broken. So what the hell is this, guys? What did you do?
Weird.
What did you do? What did you do at 12:23 a.m.? Did you send N911WY, the helicopter, back up to North Vegas to the shooting range to get a box of spent brass to dump on the floor? And then you told the FBI you got the guy? You lied to the FBI. You forged the evidence. Rouse shows up, and Lombardo's like, yeah, we got him. We're badass. This is Vegas. Welcome to town. And
I would
Aaron
offer a
Ross is like,
slight suggestion. I don't think they lied to the FBI. I would think they lied on behalf of the FBI. That's why Lombardo is governor.
no, well, that's later. That's later. I think we'll talk about this with the patrons. When Rouse shows up, Lombardo doesn't know anything. Lombardo hasn't been up to the suite. Lombardo doesn't know a damn thing. These guys pull all this monkey business off in Mandalay Bay with the breaking the windows and moving the stuff and planting the evidence and all this monkey business. And Lombardo tells Rouse,
Oh,
we got the guy. We got the guy. Here's the guy. Here he is. He's got 20 guns. Here's the thing. We got the window. We got this whole thing sewn up because the window's broken at 12:23. Rouse is on camera at 1:30 in the morning. Rouse probably doesn't get there till 1 a.m. Window's already broken. These idiots, LVMPD, created a crime scene so that Paddock could be the shooter. And then they tell Rouse. But Rouse has already heard from the State Department. And so when Lombardo tells Rouse the story, Rouse is going, this idiot doesn't know about the helicopters. None of them do. Itzko, Levi Hancock, Newton, McMahill. None of these dingbats understand this was an aerial attack. We've got video footage of all the cops in front of Luxor. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Mikey, where's it coming from? I don't know, Tommy. I don't know where it's coming from. Nobody knows where it's coming from. Nobody knows it's an aerial attack. And it seems so outrageous, nobody believes that in the moment, other than Clarissa. And so Lombardo tells the FBI, here's your guy. We got the guy. Here's your guy. Here's the guns. Here's the window. Here's the bullets on the floor, the glass. How do you like that? We're pretty badass here in Vegas, aren't we?
so John, this has been a super extended intro, and I hope that everybody who's been watching and joining us on X and on YouTube and all the free channels will join us now for the sponsor exclusive segment. Make your way over to subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. I got to tell you, I say this all the time, but I say it because it's absolutely true. Neither John nor I would be here right now after 7 years if it was not for you, the viewer sponsors. We don't have anybody who runs Saudi Aramco or Exxon or some helicopter company sponsoring the show telling us, hey, stop talking about this. It's you guys. Thanks for watching.
We don't even sell pillows. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
pillows.
just you guys. Yeah, we
Just
don't even
you
sell
guys.
slippers.
We'll be right back. Stay with us, everybody.